Yeah, good evening. I hope you've been able to practicalize the last topic that I taught you on grid system using HTML5. So I'm going to continue in the class so that we can see how we can do this practically. So I'm going to be taking different section. Thank God I told you in the last class that we have some basic section that you must consider. Some are customized. The first one is immediately after the body. You see me opening the header and I close the header. Please, header is in from the head. Please take note of that. Immediately after the body, I open my header and I close the header. I didn't put anything there. So maybe in another time, we'll treat that of header. So if you can take your time to understand each of this section, I can tell you that you are good to go to start handling real life problems. And don't forget, before I round up, I will also take you what we call Bootstrap. I think that one will save you of a lot of stress. We have thousands of Bootstrap templates, so you can easily download one within a day or 2 days. We'll cover that. So that is very, in fact, that's what most of people are using. So it's not really stressful at all. But if you don't have the good foundation, you find it difficult to edit or customize based on your client's requests. So that's why we are taking you through all this so that you can understand the basis of HTML5. So can you see the header? I close the header according to what I told you. After the header, the next thing is the main, and I close the main. Can you see? After that, the footer. So for the main, you can put as many as possible section. You understand? But for today, I will just use a single section. That means I open this section and I close this what? Section. Is that clear? So that means if I need another section, I'll come like this again. I'll say section. I'll close my what? Section, and I'll put whatever I want to put there. The difference between section and div is that you can put div inside section, so to make your work to be well arranged. So for example, now if I want to do a project, I will structure the way I want it to be. Section simply means that a particular row of your page, another row till you get to the footer. You understand? So within a section, maybe you have 3 images. So that's why you could see now when I open my section, I close my what? Section, and I put the 3 images. Very simple. Is that clear? So that's what I want to use as an example for today. And in the last class, I told you that you will need to connect. Like me, I use 2 CSS. There's one I call responsive, and there's one I call style. The one I call style.css, as I told you, is the basic one. That's why you hear people saying mobile first. What is the meaning of mobile first? By default, system will respond, or whatever code you write in HTML5 will respond automatically to mobile. So let's try this so that you understand what I'm saying. Now you could see that I have the first one. I call it September underscore responsive. Can you see I only put a little few codes there. So let me open another one for September. I think, let me just, so that I will not waste time. Okay, don't worry. href. Okay, let me just copy because of time. So I'll just copy, Control C, Control what? Control V, and I would call this one September style. So when you hear style, I'm coding for what? Mobile. For mobile screen. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, so purposely I'll remove this so that you understand very well. I'll remove this one for now. I'll return it later. Is that clear? So now by the time I remove this, let me save. You will notice that I don't even have September underscore style.css. I don't have it. Just for you to know that by default, even without having any style.css that you want to use for mobile, your code will still respond. Let's see. See what is happening. To remove the cache so that okay. Fresh. Don't mind me, it's my browser. Aha. Now you will notice here that by default I reduce it is for mobile. You will discover that this thing is well aligned even for mobile, but I can decide to possibly make it better. You understand? I can decide to possibly what? Make it better. So let me quickly open a September style. Let me save as this. Okay, file, save as. I call it September underscore what? Style .css. Please, are you getting me? What I'm actually trying to let you know is that even if I did not use September underscore style, it will still work. Do you understand? But the point I'm trying to prove to you is that I can, okay, I'll remove the unnecessary part so that you not be confused. Since I don't have any code for header, let me start from the header. Okay, the footer is okay. See now, from the header, I'm removing every damn thing. Okay, let's remove every damn thing. Okay, I'll remove everything so that you not be confused. Okay, I've removed everything. So now let me now code for this section. Now, as you can see, this is my major code. And immediately I open the section, I close the section. And these are the 3 images. So I want to code it now for mobile. Don't forget when I said style.css, I'm talking about the mobile. So September style. So let me go there. Now the question is that this is the first section. So how will I code it? I taught you, if you still remember. So I'll just come anywhere here, possibly after the body. You understand? Don't forget, I will not use dots. I will not use as. I'll just say section. Are you following? Hold on. And I say int of what? Type. I'll now put a 1. Why? Because that's the first and the only section that is there. So if I have another section, it will be 2. So I'll open the curly brace. I'll close the curly brace. Exactly. So what did I really want to happen? Sometimes I might decide that I want my width to be 100%. That's for the section. 100%. Terminate. And I want, possibly, you will notice that when I was viewing it, the space in between them is actually small. So maybe if I want to widen it, that would be what? Margin bottom. Do you understand? So I'll just come like this. I'll say margin what? Bottom. Possibly, let me increase to 30px just for you to see. Terminate. I'm just trying to tell you that even when I've not done any styling, it's still working because by default it's mobile first. Okay, let's refresh. Margin. Okay, I know why. You see that it's increased here, but don't forget that they are images, so I can easily come like this. Say img. You understand? So that computer will know what I'm really referring to. Img refresh. Do you understand? Can you see that immediately something really happened? What are the things that happened? Immediately I put IMG because they are images. The margin bottom is now what? Very glaring. That is one. Are you following? Then secondly is well aligned. Unlike before, the images are so tinted to the left that there are a lot of margin at the right. Do you understand? So then at the same time, you'll be wondering that this thing is not covering 100%. Let me show you the reason. In my main, can you see I've stated main, header, footer, any container should be what? 90%. If I make it 100, you see what will happen? It will flow throughout the what? So these are the things you must really understand. Can you see? It has filled the entire screen. Please, are you taking cognizance of this? So that's why anytime you are writing your code professionally, it is not very professional that your image should cover the whole. Imagine you are using a phone and the image has covered all the screen. At least there should be margin. It will make your work to be more neat. So you could just code it at once. Main, main, this section is inside the word main. That's why my width 100%. For the image is just for you to cover the 90% of the main that I've stated there. So let me change it back to what? To 90%. So even though I don't be confused with this meat, I didn't use it here. The major thing you just need is this one. You understand that? So 90%. So the width 100%, that is, let the image cover 100% of the 90%. You understand? So let's see again. You'll see that it looks better. You understand? I'm professional here. Can you see that with mobile, I didn't really do much stress? Are you getting me? With mobile, I'm doing more stress. Less stress, I mean. The reason is because by default, mobile screen, any image you put, anything you put, it will always arrange itself. Even when I'm dealing with very big, I love this. When I'm dealing with even big screen, please observe this. It's still floating as if it's still, because by default it will respond to mobile. Now, after this is clear now, this, as you can see, I've make it to be well arranged. It's neat, it's professional. If someone is viewing it on phone, the person will love what he's seeing. I just tried to use the same images. That's why you are seeing that it's the same image. Can you see chef one, chef one, chef one? Are you following? Now, after this is done, normally professionally on a big screen, it should not be like this, right? It should not be like this. What should happen is that the three images should be arranged horizontally. So how will I do that? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So I will code that inside my word September_responsive. September_responsive. It's because I have a file known as responsive. That's why I changed this one to September_responsive. Now, I told you in the last class, go and read more on @media. Let me explain the meaning of @media to you. Let me remove Ctrl+X. Now, @media mean with 800px. Open curly brace, close curly brace. The meaning of this is that minimum. Thank God the two of you that I'm taking, you are Yoruba. When you say something is mean width, okay, return 800ps upward. That means I'm talking to big screen. Mobile screen is not part of it. Maybe a tab. Minimum 800ps. So it can be 900, but minimum. Is that clear? So I'm not talking to mobile. I'm talking to a bigger screen, maybe a tab. So now I open my curly brace and I close my curly brace, and I put the code for that. And as I said, section end of type. Don't forget that the same section that I use for the September style, can you see section? Let's see. Where is it? I know I use this somewhere. End of type. Can you see it's the same thing? I'm just repeating the exact code inside the @media, so that computer will know that, oh, it is for what? It's for that particular word screen size. Exactly. So I now say display. let me use this opportunity to explain the meaning of grid. I will say, can you see display is grid? That means I'm using grid system. Then grid template column. Grid what? Template column. Let me explain the meaning of this. Don't let me use this method so that you understand. It's very simple. The meaning is that normally before we're using percentage. For example, now if you want to arrange 3 images on the screen, that means each of them will take 33.3, 33.3, 33.3%. If I use it to also work, yeah, let's see it. 33 what? 0.3, that's for the first image, percentage, comma what? 33.3 percentage, comma 33.3 what? Percentage. Let's see what will happen. The meaning is that the first one is standing for the first image, the second image, and the third image. You put space in between them. So if I test it, you know what I want to do is this. I want to copy it and put it, because I don't know, my laptop should fall in this 1300 px. Yeah, let's see what will happen. That means I will need to, in my September class, I will now go and add the what. If you remember, I told you that I purposely removed the styling for responsive. You see, so it's September what? Responsive. Thank you. Control X. Let's see what will happen. I'm just trying to use it to explain so that you understand. Can you see? Can you see it's divided across the screen? So this to tell you that if I want to really to be very sure of the size of my screen, the simple thing I would do is that let me go back and remove it from this part. I want to know if my screen is 800 px min. So that means when you say min with 800 ps to what? 1290 sharp before the 13. You understand? So this one is min width 1300. So let me remove it from there and try again. Refresh. Okay, that means my screen is between 13 upward. So that's why it's still working. Exactly. Control Z. So now let me go back to what I was using before. So because they want to avoid the using of percentage, that's why they're using FR. FR, I think it stands for fraction. So that's why instead of you wasting your time, that you just say 1 FR. What do I call it? 1 FR for each of the image. 1 what? You not use percentage again. No? 1 FR. That means the same size for each of them. That's the meaning of what I'm 1 FR. Let's see, it will also work. Control C. So you can use anyone. It will be, yeah, let's see, it will still work. Can you see it's still working? Now let me now tell you the reason why we are using. Let me go back to the normal one that was there before. Repeats. This one is of more advantage in case the images are more than 3. If they are 6, that means it will arrange it 3 3. Do you understand? If they are 9, 3 3 3. If they are 12, 3 3 3 3 3 in 4 places. Are you getting it now? So that means any screen like your tab now, the images, it will do it 2 2. Do you understand? Repeat 2, 1 FR per 1. Make it 2 2. You understand? This one in each of the row, make it what? 3 3. This one, this mean with 1800, that's when you are watching maybe your website in the cinema. You know, it's a very large screen. 1800 px screen upward, no matter how big. Let it be what? 4 4 per row. Exactly. And most time when you are using it, you just need to use the display grid in the first one only. So you don't need to add it in the others. Is that clear? So I think I'm happy that I've been able to pass this information to us. You can now see the difference. It's not something that is difficult. The reason why I prefer using repeat is because in case the images are more than what? 3, 10, it will just arrange it 3 3 3, 2 2 2, 4 4 4. Like, oh, when you are sure that it's 3, you can use 1 FR, 1 FR, 1 FR. which means that for the whole screen though, give each one of it 111, that is different side. And if it's percentage that you are really used to, that is the whole screen is 100%, divided into 3 and let them have the same space. Is that clear? Aha. So I think that will be the end of the class, and this is a very good example to start with. So I will be very happy if you're able to also do something. So in the next class, so what we just be doing is that we just be increasing this one. That means if I want to do another thing, I can come again, put another word section. For example, now let me just round up with this. For example, maybe I just want to put the first thing an image followed by a text followed by another word text. Let me see if I can show you this particular part in my code. Coming. No, it depends on the way your client wants you to arrange your work. You understand? So that's why it's all about section. Now, looking at these things, you can see this real project. See the arrangements. Where you could see all these many meats is a section. After that, another word section. After that, another word. Okay, look at this now. This is another section. If I should copy this code now and paste it by default, okay, let's use that. I'll start it in the next class. Look at me. Let me try and trace my code and copy that part out of my code. Okay, I think I call it working hour. Can you see? This is another section. Can you see section? I put div, I put the image. I put another div, put a lot of paragraph, blah 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 inside. Another div, a lot of paragraph, a lot of h1, and I close my what section. Control C, and I come here and paste it. I just need to replace the section. Do you understand? Let me explain. Immediately I open my section, most time for better arrangements, it will look somehow if I'm just putting the image straight away, putting the h1. No, you should do something that's practical, because even in normal life, when you have a lot of luggages, you understand, maybe you have shoes, you have clothes, you have what else, foodstuffs, you want to sectionize it. Fine, all of them, they are your load, and by the time you want to put it in your car, the next thing is that you could put all shoes in a separate what? Nylon. All clothes in a separate nylon, and all other things in a separate. That's the same thing we are doing. So the image, you put it in a separate div. Now, the outlet, the P, the contact, we put it in another word div. And lastly, the opening hour in another div. But all is inside what? Inside the section. Let's see what you see. You see that this thing that I pasted by default, without any stress, mobile will work. Do you get what I'm saying now? How did I know that the mobile has worked? Because by the time I reduce, do you understand? By the time I reduce mobile, I'm very close to the mobile. Do you understand? The only thing I just need to do is that just give it some margin, you understand, so that I will differentiate the opening hour from the outlet, blah blah, and the image. And I will style the image. So mobile screen is always easier to code. So the only stress is the responsive that will make it spread on a big screen. And that's why you could see that's the same thing you are seeing. Why? Because I've styled this one with grid system and it's now well arranged. So take your time to go through this class. So see you in the next class. Thank you.